We caught up with this group of American water experts on the outskirts of a Bedouin village just north of Beersheba. They were closely examining the flow of sewage in a river that flows from the Palestinian town of Hebron into the northern Negev. Professor Clive Lipchin of the Arava Institute for Environmental Studies told the visitors that a plan is being developed to bring the sides together to treat the polluted water for the benefit of all.
A watershed approach which includes everybody in the river, whether it be Israeli or Palestinian, Jewish or Arab, Bedouin and so forth, to engage together because we're all part of the system and we all have either to benefit from what's going on or to be negatively impacted.
The group, which included several high-ranking US federal and Arizona state officials, were in Israel to study Israeli methods of water management.
There's an awful lot that people from Arizona can learn from Israel. For example, we have issues of dry rivers that only flow when it's raining and flooding, or rivers that all they have in them might be treated wastewater. We have dry areas, very little rain. And so looking at how wastewater is treated, stored, reused, that's something we can learn a lot about.
Arizona, which is home to 6 million people, is almost totally dependent on the Colorado River for its water supply. It's a mighty river which is nevertheless quickly drying up. To add to the problem, cities in Arizona, such as Tucson and Phoenix, rank among the fastest growing population centers in the United States.
We just finished a 2-year-long process, the Water Resources Development Commission, where we looked at existing supply and future demands, and there's a great shortage of water in Arizona.
The visitors were looking for solutions to avoid the risk of future catastrophe brought on by severe water shortage. During their 10-day tour, they visited Israel's national water carrier and a desalination plant. They were surprised to hear that 90% of Israel's agricultural produce is watered by drip irrigation, as opposed to 5% in the United States. And they studied Israeli methods of treating wastewater, which enables almost all of the country's sewage to be recycled and reused for agricultural irrigation. The visitors were clearly impressed by what they saw. One of the most enthusiastic participants of the tour was Clarksdale Mayor Doug van Gussig.
You know, what I've learned is that almost anything is possible. What I see in Israel is that people are doing projects that we could never do in the United States right now for either political or financial or social or cultural reasons. They become very difficult, and I shouldn't say never, because what I learned in Israel is that you can do these things and that it's important that we do them.
The tour ended with a typical Israeli tree planting ceremony.